Okay, this is Mr. Anderson. In our last video, we were looking at what makes one atom different from another. We were looking at the atomic number, which told us the number of protons in an atom, and because all atoms on a periodic table are neutral, it also tells us the number of electrons in an atom. We found that for the carbon atom, that there are 6 protons, and therefore also 6 electrons. Let's check your work and see how you did on your practice problems. The first problem was He, and this is helium on the periodic table. You found that the atomic number is number 2, and that there are 2 protons, and because this atom is neutral, if there are 2 positive charges, there also have to be 2 negative charges. And in your atom model, we put 2 positive symbols in the center, and you had to copy and paste to make a second. Let me do that. There's my second proton. Remember, those are in the nucleus. And then you moved 2 electrons over here for your orbital. Which, remember, it's also an energy level or shell. Okay, let's go to your next problem. Lithium. In this case, the atomic number was 3. Therefore, we know that there are 3 positive charges. Remember, protons never change, even though the number of electrons can. But on a periodic table, they're balanced. So that if there are 3 positive charges, there are 3 negative charges. Let's copy and paste some protons and neutrons. You moved 3 protons with a positive charge in your nucleus, and you moved 3 electrons on your orbitals. Now here's the trick. Again, we can only have 2 electrons on the first orbital, because that's all there is space-wise with their charges. The third electron, we'd have to move out to the second energy level. Right, so your lithium should look something like that. And it doesn't matter if your electrons are exactly where I placed them, but they have to be spaced on the correct energy level. So 2 on the first energy level, or shell, or orbital, and 1 on the last. All right, let's check your next atom. Next atom was beryllium, and in beryllium's case, there are 4 protons. We know because of this atomic number, always the smallest number. So 4 protons, and because it's on the periodic table, if it has 4 positive charges, it has to have 4 negative electrons. And now let's copy and paste our protons and electrons. And let's move these into their positions. We should have 4 protons in our nucleus. And we need 4 electrons on our energy levels. But we can only put 2 on the first energy level, and the other 2 have to go on our next energy level, or orbital, or shell. Okay, so we have 1 more to check out. Oh, I'm sorry, we have 2 more to check out. Our next one is boron. Boron has 5 protons and 5 electrons. Let's copy and paste our protons and electrons. And like all the others, we're going to move our protons in the nucleus. So we have 5 protons in our nucleus. And now we'll move our electrons to our orbitals. Again, 2 on the first orbital or energy level. And we'll put the other 3 on our outer shell, or energy level, or orbital. And remember, you can go back through, check yourself, add them all up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that checks out. All right, so let's take a look at nitrogen. Nitrogen should have 7 protons and 7 electrons. Let's copy and paste our protons. Take a minute and set up yours. Pause the video and check your answer. Yours should look something like this. There are 7 protons with a positive charge in my nucleus. There are 2 electrons with negative charge on the first orbital. And there are 5 electrons on my second orbital, or energy level, or shell. Let's try one last one on your own before you go. Oxygen. Pause the video and write down how many protons and electrons there are. Okay, so you should have found that there are 8 protons and 8 electrons using this smallest atomic number in the periodic table box. And then let's copy and paste your protons and electrons and move them over to your atom model. Pause the video, go ahead and do that, and then come back to check your work. Okay, here's your solution. You should have 8 protons in your nucleus, and we have 2 electrons on our first energy level, and 6 electrons on our second energy level. Okay, so our next video we'll be looking at how are atoms different, part 2. And in this video we'll start talking about the other part of the atom we haven't yet discussed, the neutrons. Till next time.